When we're talking about predicting whether people have the will and will do what we need them to do, is to have a strong analytical foundation in whatever solutions you're looking at, okay?
And you want your workforce, as much of your workforce, doing what they really love doing as possible. Well, welcome everybody here to this episode of the Small Talk Window podcast, where we have a small window of time to dispense with the small talk as quickly as possible and settle into a meaningful conversation around the world of work. And my guest today is a repeat guest, Mike Erlin, CEO and founder of AbilityMap. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much, Brent. Down in the land down under, we've sprung into spring, and we're looking forward to some good weather.
I always joke with you that I'm always talking to the future when I talk with you because it's the next day over in Australia. But now I guess you're in the next season from us, or 2 seasons ahead of us. So that's really the future, let me tell you. I know we've been talking, you from your perch over there in Australia, you've been watching things in the U.S., and you heard a little bit something about Catwoman recently. And we had an interesting conversation during the green room time. We do have a green room here at Small Talk Window, even though we're not a late night show on the major networks, but we do have a green room. And you had some very interesting things to say, and I thought, this is definitely worth an episode. So I'm going to give the floor to you, Mike.
Okay, a couple things first. There were no purple M&Ms in my green room setting, so just so you know.
We read the writer.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So clearly I'm an American. Clearly I'm in the Southern Hemisphere. And this thing about Catwoman has sort of been coming up as of late. I don't know if I'm going to look for dog women or not, but Catwoman is what you and I came to. Okay. And I think it's really important, Brent, because what I heard when that comment came out was something that I would imagine a lot of people in the HR people profession probably thought about, which is it was not recognizing the value that a unique or a defined population can uniquely bring to work. That was the first thing that came to my mind, right? And everybody in HR, I'm sure, had basically, we talk about diversity, we talk about inclusion, and you say Catwomen are taking down America. Well, that's absolutely contrary to our beliefs in this profession, in my humble opinion, right?
Yeah, agreed.
So I figured, that's a shame, because the women who have cats in their child list obviously bring an awful lot of value to everything that we do, both professionally and personally. So I go, how would I go about approaching, thinking about what are the attributes that women who like cats have? And then I realized I know somebody like that. And there's Catwoman.
Yes.
Catwoman. You and I have been raised with Catwoman for years, and she is a bad mamma jamma.
Oh, she totally is. She totally is. We're cut from the same cloth, similar age range.
Little bit of Sesame Street.
Yes.
I'm just a bill. I am only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Well, there's also the Electric Company, and which was one of my favorites, and I think she makes a few appearances there with the great legend Morgan Freeman, of all people. And I've seen her. I think I've seen her in a few episodes or movies with Batman, of all people. So whenever she's there, she brings the heat, man. I mean, she's no slouch. She's definitely a superhero, and she has all sorts of traits. And now I understand that you did sort of an interesting kind of fun sort of experiment, or you went through the motions here with the AbilityMap instrument. It basically Catwoman took the took the test, I guess we'll call it. And
Yeah.
what did you
To
what
be
did you
fair,
find?
obviously Catwoman didn't take the test, but let me just say that there is enough um, documented evidence and history and
Yeah.
behavioral examples of how Catwoman operates in order to, with a degree for this fun exercise, a sufficient degree to determine her inherent capability across our framework.
Well, with that kind of a preamble, I can't wait to hear, what she brings to the table. I mean, I think about Catwoman and her cat-like reflexes and her acumen for finding and disarming the bad guys or whatever. I mean, let's dive into it. What did
Okay, okay.
what did you learn about her?
Yeah, okay. Before I do that, I'm gonna the poor people on the end of this podcast. But this is about HR tech and small
Yes,
window
it is.
talk. So let me put something in here. One of the things that I and we believe is very, very important to effective analytic processes when we're talking about predicting whether people have the will and will do what we need them to do is to have a strong analytical foundation in whatever solutions you're looking at, okay? And from my view and our view, there's sort of four basic pillars of a strong analytic process. There's a descriptive foundation from which level two is diagnosis occurs with reference to that foundation, and then based on the diagnosis against the descriptive foundation, prediction occurs. And then from those predictions, we make prescriptions of what needs to be done. Okay? The reason I call that out is the descriptive foundation is everything. So there's lots of capability frameworks, descriptive foundations under there, but they do not always have enough discrete fidelity to actually look at the unique aspect of what needs to be done in work. So I'll just give you one example. We have a employability skills framework in Australia. There's one in America. There's one it's basically what governments tell education or the human skills that need to be done to serve industry, okay? And in Australia, there are 8 of them. One of them is communication, all right? Okay. So if our descriptive foundation had 8 measures, or it had 12 measures, or even 20 measures, communication you could either say, communication, what's broad? So in our case, we measure listening, building relationships, networking, sharing knowledge, and interpersonal communication as discrete measures of what people do. So I just want to call out that, applying it to Catwoman, it gives some fidelity as to what's really important as being Catwoman, okay? So
if I may just put a fine point on that as you're pulling that up, share with us, because it is really illuminating. That piece of it, what people, you don't want, well, let me put it differently. It's important to understand your skills ontology at your organization, to understand what you need people to do and what people can do. And we've made major leaps and strides in that area in recent years in our understanding of that with the tools that are out there. I like to tell people, this is not your father's psychometrics. This isn't Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs had its time and but we have a much deeper understanding now. But the real piece of it is you could find people in your organization through these tools that you find out that, okay, this person has the ability to do X, Y, Z instead of A, B, C. And we're not necessarily going to need A, B, C anymore, but we're really going to need X, Y, Z. But what most of these tools don't really get at is whether that person would want to do X, Y, Z. Absolutely. Because they might be willing to do it I guess if I'm going to get paid, I'll do it. But they're never going to be really jazzed about it. They're never going to be totally into it. And you want your workforce, as much of your workforce, doing what they really love doing is possible. I mean, there's a utopia, and we're always told, if you try to pursue utopia, you might find yourself in a dystopia. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about getting much better at this and creating more roles and putting the people that are most likely to want to do those roles in those roles. And that's a worthy goal.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Tonight on NBC, Jimmy Fallon and Bozoma St. John host the highly anticipated new competition show.
I hired 10 creatives from all walks of life. They will be battling it out to see who can impress the world's biggest brands.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is the battle for the next big idea.
This is not play.
We're spending millions of dollars.
I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with all of you.
May the best idea win!
On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, series premiere tonight on NBC.
I agree with you. I think, will they actually, to go one step further, what is the degree of will they have to do it? That's what we're measuring.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's that's deeper. Yeah. Yeah,
because it's about the inherent capabilities which are determined by your behavioral preferences to do different things. So, you ready? Catwoman.
Yeah, we're ready. Let's do it.
All right. So, my team picked this up, and they had a bit of fun with it, okay? And so because of all the data that's out there, again, our psych team and our HR team was able to go out and say, okay, look at this example. Here's Catwoman's top human capabilities based on AbilityMap's framework.
Wow.
Okay, using creativity. This is what they said. Catwoman frequently employs creative tactics and thinks outside the box, whether planning heists or navigating tricky situations.
Sounds like her.
Okay. Personal communication, effective at expressing herself, and often uses her communication skills to charm or negotiate her way out of tight spots.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Displaying initiative. Known for her proactive approach, Catwoman often takes lead in her ventures and is quick to act on opportunities. Operating independently. As a lone operator, much of the time, she demonstrates strong capability to handle tasks and make decisions on her own.
Okay.
Influencing and persuading. She has a knack for persuasion, often manipulating situations to get to her advantage. Building customer relationships. I love this one. Although not traditional customers, Catwoman knows how to manage relationships that can benefit her strategically, including her complex relationship with Batman. This one's good too. Handling authority, right? Catwoman navigates various power dynamics, often pushing against authority figures or entities in Gotham.
Oh, wow. Yep. I've seen that too.
Okay, and there are a couple others, but I'll give you the last one. Managing safety and risk. These are all our measures, obviously. Catwoman consistently assesses risk and takes precautions in her high-stakes lifestyle, balancing the danger with potential rewards. And then the guys... Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, just what CEO doesn't want a contributor who is paying attention to risk? I mean, that's one of the main things that the C-suite is concerned about. I mean, all of these qualities are exactly what anyone in an organization would be. You'd have to be off your rocker not to want someone with these skills in your organization.
Actually, so that's a really good point, because I would suggest that in some instances. A person who is operating with this much independence handles authority to this degree and has the level of influencing and persuading may not operate well consistently in a tight team environment.
Oh, interesting. She is kind of a loner.
Yeah.
Catwoman,
So, and what it calls out two things. The first thing that I loved about us doing this was I think this is a perfect example when if a population is being overlooked, if you're not going out and sourcing in a market that you've never had before, you're missing, because of your bias, you're missing people with incredible inherent capability and will to do a number of things, okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the second thing is, and this is the second part of I think one of the things you appreciate about us, is we've taken an equal amount of effort to make certain that we can define what human skills are needed in different environments within an organization. Mm-hmm. So to your point, there would be some areas Catwoman might not be best on the customer call center line. Okay?
That's a good point. Yes, very good point.
But she might be rock star good at your chief commercial officer role.
Right.
Or new market investigation and execution. Okay? So the thing is, don't overlook Catwomen.
Absolutely not. And just to add a little punchline to this, who knew Catwoman had such human qualities?
That's so true. Well said.
Mike, thank you for being on the podcast again.
Pleasure, mate. Anytime. All my best. Looking forward.